Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on this first Saturday in May, and with Ron Wong and Bill Cooksey as my co-host, and really excited about this next guest because even though I wasn't at the Bassmaster Classic, through Ron Wong's interviews, he and Samantha and Candace and all the rest of the crew for Outdoors with Larry Ray, I was able to keep up with it. And when I think about this year's Classic, Ron, I'm thinking of that Sunday and what's going through the young man's mind as he comes back and wonders, do I have enough fish to win this?
It's pretty amazing. I would be on pins and needles the whole way, the whole ride back on the water and then into the Thompson Bowling Arena to weigh in.
Well, all right, why don't you introduce this guy for me?
Hey, the 2023 Bassmaster Classic champion from Kenora, Ontario, Canada.
Woo, that's good, Ron.
Yeah, and what a fine fella and a fine fisherman. Gussy is what everybody calls him, but it's Jeff Gustafson. Is that right, Jeff? Did I say that right?
That's close. That's close.
You got her. That's pretty good. Yeah, I know Gustafson. So it's not the easiest for everybody in the South to pronounce.
No.
That was pretty good. I've heard a lot worse.
It's a lot easier now since what you accomplished there, and I kind of hinted at that, Jeff. That when I read all the information and things like that, and Bill Cooksey's listening in, and he, like I said, he was at the Classic. Ron was at the Classic. Before I let them ask you a real technical question, I got to ask you. You're coming back in, man. You got 2 fish, 6 pounds, 12 ounces.
Yeah.
What's going through your mind?
Well, I did not think that I had a chance to win. I mean, I thought it was going to be the worst day of my life, and then, it was just a tough day for everybody, and thankfully, and it was enough. And then it ended up being like one of the best days of my life. So, it was, I mean, I was disappointed. Obviously I wasn't happy. I wanted to, the first 2 days I got my limit,
yes, you did. Yeah.
Relatively easy. And, the last day it was flat calm, and they were, a few days of pressure, and, they were just a lot harder to catch. The smallmouth at the Tennessee River had to be 18 inches to keep. And I mean, I caught several nice ones that just weren't, didn't make the 18-inch mark. So, but yeah, it all worked out, and I really, a month later, still can't really believe it.
Well, that's why Ron has already talked about the conditions that you had to deal with on the Tennessee River, and you were up at Tellico Lake, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Some of that part up there, but it's been a month or so. What's it been like now? Is it everything you thought it was, or is it more?
Well, the couple weeks right after, I mean, it was busy. I did a lot of interviews and talked to a lot of people, and it was fine. And then the last 2 weeks we've been back at it on the Elite Series, so it was nice to get back to fishing, back in the boat, and obviously over the coming months, I'm gonna get a lot of opportunities out of winning, and you try to enjoy it and not get too busy and too crazy, but yeah, I'm definitely
what about
gonna enjoy the win, and I'm not sick of hearing congratulations yet. But
well, I'm sure in Canada. What did that mean for you as the first Canadian to win this thing? I mean, that's
the second international winner.
The second international winner. So talk about that. I mean, that's...
Yeah, no, obviously Takahiro Omori back in 2004 was from Japan, the first international winner. And, in Canada, we have a lot of anglers that love bass fishing and a lot of good anglers. And so it's, it means a lot to, get to bring the trophy back for everybody up there, and the Johnston brothers are both obviously really good, accomplished, and I've always kind of been like second. Chris won the first FLW tournament, won the first elite tournament.
Yeah.
So I got one up on them now finally. So we're friends, but I'm glad I don't have to hear
anymore
when
of that.
Mercer introduces Chris, the first Canadian, to whatever. But yeah.
Gussy, the spot that you had and the area that you fish was really no secret to anybody, including, your competitors, because the year before you won, I think, a elite tournament there.
Yeah.
But you use a special bait, and you fish it in a different way.
Good deal.
Mopping.
Yeah, mopping.
Mopping.
Yeah.
And, we know a lot about Z-Man because we've had Glenn Young on the station here before. Yeah. But talk a little bit about mopping. Yeah. What is the technique and what's the bait and how do you do it?
Yeah.
So, very similar to like a lot of anglers refer to it as a Demiki rig, but just using a soft jerk shad on a jig head. And, it's like the perfect minnow imitator. So for me, I love to use my electronics, fish deeper water, so I was comfortable in that regard. The technique is something that we use a lot up at Rainy Lake and Lake of the Woods where I live, when the smallmouths are in deeper water. Yeah. So I told some of my friends after, you could have looked at my hummingbird and looked at, how the fish were chasing the bait around and reacting to my bait and not being able to tell the difference of, whether I was on the Tennessee River or up at home on Lake of the Woods. So it was just I was comfortable with what I was doing. And, I tried a number of different ways to catch these fish. And the moping and Demiki rig deal was the best program. And luckily, I was able to kind of figure that out the last time we were there. And then going into the Classic, it's sort of cliche to say, but you want to fish to try to win. That's the one tournament that no one really, you win. Winning is everything. And I had confidence and knew the potential of the smallmouth bite there from the last time we were there. And I went there totally focused on trying to figure out how to catch 5 smallmouths each day. And if I could do that, I would have a good chance to win the tournament. And I ended up coming a little bit short of getting a limit every day, but fortunately it was enough. It was just it's a great place to have a tournament because all the anglers in the top 5. Everybody fished a different style and different techniques and baits. So it's fun to see the variety, but it was just kind of a tough place to fish. And again, it just luckily a lot of things kind of collided and went my way, and it all worked out.
Talk a little bit, Gussy, about the bait itself that you used, because you used one bait essentially, and it's made out of a material called Elizatech. And talk a little bit about why you used what you did.
Yeah, so the bait that I used was a 4-inch Z-Man jerk shad. So that's their 4-inch fluke style minnow bait, and the Elizatech. It's, for anyone that doesn't know, it's the really stretchy plastic, and it floats. It's buoyant, and when that's on a jig head, the buoyancy of it really promotes the bait being horizontal and natural in the water. And I've tried every single fluke and jerk shad bait out there for this technique, and that Elizatech Z-Man bait is the number one by far. And we use the 5-inch bait a lot too at home, and for anyone that's going to try this technique, anywhere in the country, it works. I promise you. Especially once the fish are kind of in deeper water, offshore, and they're focused on eating bait fish. But you can use they make a 5-inch and even a 7-inch. I've caught them on the 7-inch bait at some of the lakes down in Texas, on the Tennessee River. If you're fishing for bigger largemouth, it's a great minnow imitator. And especially now, a lot of us have forward-facing sonar on our boats. I have the Humminbird Mega Live, and I'm able to look around, and if I can see fish out in front of the boat now, it used to just be, we would drop down on top of fish that we saw beneath our boats. But with forward-facing sonar now, we can pitch the baits out, swim them over top of the fish that we can see in front of us, and it's just, another sort of way to catch them. But yeah, if you're gonna put a jerk shad on a jig head, the Elastec Z-Man baits are the way to go, 100%.
And again, we're talking to the 2023 Bassmaster Classic champion Jeff Gussy Gustafson, and I know Gussy, you never in your wildest dreams growing up that you think you'd be pulling into Thompson Bowling Arena on the campus of the University of Tennessee, surrounded by big orange people, and I'm sure there was some coveralls there. Okay, I got to admit that. But the thrill of that, and I've watched you on stage. Don't you wish sometimes they just let you do a redo on stage? But I think you were so speechless, and I know you can talk, buddy. We know, and you got to be able to do that in today's what you deal with. But what was going through your mind on that stage? Did you realize where you were?
Yeah, I mean, winning the Classic is the best dream that there is for anyone that fishes tournaments and does what I do. And and I really was speechless. I said after, I wish I could have spoken a little bit better on stage. And I mean, it was fine, but I don't remember. Like, it was all such blur and bright lights and loud, and I don't remember. Thankfully, today we have so many people.
See it. Yeah.
You can see it after. So it's been fun to watch it. I've watched it back a couple times, and that's something that I'll get to have forever. But that trophy is a beauty.
It's a
beauty.
beauty.
It weighs 45 pounds.
45 pounds.
It's heavy. I was so fired up when I got it in my hands. I mean, I just threw it up over my head,
no
sure problem.
Did.
But
Man, it looked like it weighed 4 pounds the way you brought it up like that, and it's only later. Well, we really appreciate you taking time to be with us on Outdoors with Larry Ray. I appreciate Emily Harley setting this up and Ron Wong's work on that. And I know Cooksey loves to happen to anything on Thompson Bowling Arena, so I know that was a thrill for him on that. But continued success, man. We're going to get back with you later in the year, and hope to talk to you again, and safe travels, and just go at it, okay, man? All right?
Yeah, anytime, guys. Thanks for having me, and have a great season fishing.
Congratulations on the win.
Yes. All right. Let's take a break. Be right back on Outdoors with Larry Ray.